hyena habitat. So let's get into it. So yeah, guys, we are back, and today we're back with one, well, not my favorites, but since I am back, well, the previous video was a week ago, but well, not for me a week ago, but for you guys it was a week ago. And the thing was, well, that habitat was before, well, the thing was, I made the habitat before I stopped playing, but I didn't record the voiceover. So yeah, this is actually my first build back. And you can see, well, it's kind of a long video, and I hope you guys like a longer video, because, well, if you don't like that, well, I can speed the gameplay up, but then it's not very interesting to look at, because then everything just goes like 5 times as fast as normally. So I'm not sure if that's nice to look at, but just if you're here, please just press the like button and the subscribe button. That really helps out. And while you're down there, just comment something. Even if it's hello, just something, just something. So yeah, you can see that I began with the shelter, and the thing was, I was trying to make the shelter a bit interesting, a bit more interesting, because, well, a concrete wall isn't really interesting to look at, and especially if it's just gray and you can see it in the back of the habitat. So I just wanted to make it a bit more interesting, and that's why I added like those wooden beams to it. And the thing was, this backstage is actually pretty big, because, well, of course, hyenas have those like weird hierarchies where the females are like more dominant than the males, and that's why I made like two separate shelters, because, well, then they can separate the males from the females. So if the females are a bit too aggressive, they can separate them or something. I'm not really sure what or how, but yeah, that's just I think that's just I think that's a good thought process behind that. So yeah, that's why I made like two shelters, and that's why the shelters are kind of big, but I think it looks okay. It was a bit awkward to work with, because, well, the walls on the side of the males, like the shorter, like the wing, it was a bit harder, because, well, the walls didn't really connect to each other properly. There's like a bit of a space, but you don't really see it. So just don't look at it, because then you won't notice it. So just don't look at it. But yeah, I'm back, and the thing was, well, yeah, now I kind of need to begin from the beginning, because, well, while I was gone, of course, YouTube stopped pushing out my videos, because, well, the algorithm usually just pushes out videos that are, or they are new, or they are just posted, or like a day ago, I don't know. But when you stop posting for like 2 months, yeah, of course they're gonna stop like pushing out the video in the algorithm. So that's why I need to start from the beginning, because, well, my previous video, if you're gonna look at my channel, you can see that the video isn't really doing well in views and in likes and comments, but then usually nobody comments. But yeah, it's just not doing well, because my last video was my highest viewed video, and that was 100 views. And I'm actually really proud of that, because I never hit 100 views. And, well, 100 views, it doesn't sound a lot, but when you think, when you know the theaters, and you're gonna stand on the podium, and you're gonna look into the theater, and then you see 100 people, then there are a lot of people. So that's just how you need to look at it. But that's just my point of view. But I'm really proud of 100 views. So hopefully I can get a bit more, but I just need to stay consistent with my posts, and I think that's gonna happen when I only post one a week. So the thing is, now I have more time for school, and, well, in the weekends I can focus on Planet Zoo, and well, I only need to make one video, and that's usually just, well, that sounds a bit weird, but it only costs me like an hour, no, not an hour, like 3 hours to make a build like this. Sometimes a half. This one actually took me quite a bit because, well, it's actually pretty big of a build, and I wasn't really like, in this build I wasn't like really feeling like the build vibe, because when it started out, when you build those like shelters, it gets a bit repetitive, just because, well, you don't really get anything like new. Well, the steps take a while when you like make such a awkwardly shaped building, because, well, everything I did for the part of the female, so the main building, I needed to do for the separate wing of the males. So that's kind of annoying because, well, with the plaster, the inside, of course, when the concrete is outside, but the inside, if you want to make it like look a bit better, you place plaster inside. So that's what I do. That's why you get like those green like lines across the wall. But yeah, that's just, you need to place the plaster separately, and then you also need to place the plaster on the male side. So that is kind of why I haven't like made one of those like big safari builds, because you need, if you want to make a realistic safari build, like a big savannah, you need separate backstages for every type of animal. So you need a separate backstage for the zebras, the wildebeest, the giraffes, the rhinos, etc. And that's the thing. Well, you can house them in the same building, but you still need 2 sides then, or 3 or more. And if you want to make it realistic, you don't want a big building for every animal, because that just looks weird, because then you have your savannah in front, and then behind you have a huge building, You want those big, you just want buildings for every type of animal, every sort of animal. So yeah, that's kind of why I haven't made those builds, because, well, backstagers, they can look really, really nice. But the thing is, now with my style of building, my backstages look okay. But the thing is, I add a kitchen, I add the conservation pieces like the shovels, what more, like the brushes, the wheelbarrows, everything I add. But then, if I'm finished with that, sometimes I have a lot more space. And then, well, it kind of looks a bit weird, because, well, you guys don't really see it because I don't really show it in my cinematic shots. But when I make like those backstages, I just place some random things, and sometimes there's like a lot of space, and then it doesn't really look realistic anymore. And now my buildings type is kind of, well, I of course take inspiration from from Caesar and Charlie Gaming a lot, because, well, Charlie also has the same building style as Caesar. So I kind of take a lot of inspiration, because those builds look really realistic, and that's what I like to like look at and build. And it takes a bit more of time. But the thing is, if it takes a bit more of time, like, it gets more and more repetitive, because you need to do more and more of the same thing. So that's kind of why I sometimes just don't want to do big builds. But yeah, sometimes you just need to build them, and while you're making them, it doesn't bother me anymore, because then I'm in the building zone. So, well, the hours of course go by a lot slower, and you're also, the build needs a lot more time to really look nice. So it just takes a lot more of time, but sometimes it's worth it because you get like beautiful builds, and sometimes it's not worth it. I had a few times while I was building, and I just thought, yeah, this doesn't look nice, and I just deleted everything. That's kind of a time waste, but yeah, sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't go up to standard, you know. So that's why you just need to scrap everything. But yeah, let's talk a bit about the build. So you can see that I started out with the shelter, of course, and well, I already said so that I was trying to like make it look a bit more realistic because it's the background of the habitat. So that's why I went with like those wooden poles and stuff. And there's the separate wings for the females and for the males, because well, of course, they have that like that. Not usually they have a well, it's not a weird hierarchy, but it's just an unusual hierarchy, because well, the females control when they breed, so that's why the hierarchy of the females is higher than the males. And yeah, that's why I made two separate buildings, because I think well, females can be like harsher to males, yeah, because they're higher. So yeah, that's why I just made those builds so they can get separated. And yeah, then now you can see that I am like making the fence, and it's just a simple fence. I used some metal pieces with those cables, and of course the hinges. And I wasn't like really sure if I needed to like make that overhang thingy so they can't climb out, but yeah, it just looks really nice, so I just kept it. And I think that's kind of the hardest thing that I went with learning planet. Well, not really learning, but while you're building, you just learn. So the thing was, it is really hard to like get into the style of making realistic fences, because well, fences can you have both type of fences. You have fences for like predators. You have fences for just herbivores. Yeah, that sometimes are just a plain fence that you can see in like a cow farm or something. Just wood. And you have fences for like small animals like armadillos, wombats, those type of animals. And the thing is, I had the hardest time with like the predators or animals that can like jump very high and can escape easily. Because well, the thing was, the fence itself isn't hard. Like the overhang isn't really that hard, and the base piece isn't really hard, but it is hard to make the connection to the poles seem realistically. You know, here I used the hinges, but these hinges, yeah, they look nice, but they still don't look really realistic, because well, in real life, there's like a lot more to a fence, you know? It isn't like those hinges that connect it. It's like metal pieces that get like sewn into each other and stuff. So, you know, sometimes it's just it. Yes, this looks great. You know, this looks awesome. But I just still think that there's like much more room for improvement, and that's kind of the weird thing. I think my builds like look nice, but if I compare myself to Caesar, what I can't really do, because Caesar is like a crazy builder. But stop the glazing, of course, but still, uh, like the thing is, there's just a lot more improvement, but I don't really know where the improvement lies, you know, because maybe I just need more eye for detail. Maybe I just need to take my time more. I rush things too fast. I need to go into detail way more. I just, you know, because sometimes I take the easy way. I just copy everything. Well, I don't copy everything, but like here, I copy the windows, and I don't really care how they fit, because well, if you look at the cinematic shots, you don't really see how they look, and here I don't really go for like the perfect fit next to the wall. I just look at it and I think, okay, it looks nice. Next, you know. So maybe it's that, but I don't know. I just think Caesar needs to release another tutorial. Yeah, I just think Caesar needs to release another tutorial. It's easy as that, you know. I just need a bit more. I just need a bit more information because I think my build can get a lot better, you know. But yeah, that's just how I want my builds to be. Okay, let's talk a bit more about the build because I skipped over the whole fence part. Well, I didn't really skip over the whole fence part, but the whole fence is here now, so I need to talk about it, you know. So yeah, it's just a simple fence with like the hangover and the metal pieces, and you can see that I'm now working on the viewing parts, viewing galleries, viewing area, yeah, viewing area, and it's basically just glass with like a bit more metal beams. Yeah, I don't really know what do I need to say about the viewing area. It's just glass with metal. Yeah, and it was annoying because it wasn't on the grid anymore, so I just needed to like copy everything with like the new tool. But yeah, let's talk about the other topic, and that topic is Planet Zoo 2, a new planet game. You know, I wasted 4,000 hours of my life on this one, and finally the clock resets. Finally, I'm back to zero. 4,000 hours. I'm just wasting my life actually, but hopefully this video gets a lot of views and I can finally get some YouTube money. I'm joking, but yeah, you can see that well, you can see nothing. Well, Planet Zoo 2, I'm really excited. I really hope they are gonna add some requested animals that the community has requested so much that they can't go past, but they keep skipping it because they're busy with other games. But still, Planet Zoo is their best game ever, but they just ignore it. Sorry, that was my rampage about Frontier. But yeah, I'm really excited about Planet Zoo 2. Finally, it is here. We waited so long. And I'm not sure how they're gonna do it because, well, of course they have all these animals in this game, but I'm not sure if they're just gonna take the whole Zoopedia and just copy paste it to the new game and then add more animals, or are they gonna like take out animals that people don't use, like the elaborate tortoise, because how do you call you have two type of tortoise, tortoises, tortoise. Tortoise. Yeah, I'm not sure. Please help. Yeah, sorry. English is not my first language, so tortoise. Just skip it. But yeah, there are two types of tortoise. Get out! But sorry. Let's get back to the topic. So I think they're gonna remove like the elaborate tortoise. I hate tortoises, but I'm not sure if they're gonna like remove one species or animals that don't get used very often, because well, the list is getting a bit long, you know. It's getting a bit long because yeah, the list is getting a bit long because now when I need inspiration for a new animal, I need to scroll so far down, you know. I can just scroll for like maybe 20 seconds and then that's a bit. No, maybe it is 20 seconds, you know, because well, my finger needs to scroll a bit before I get to the end. And I also the Zoopy that's getting a bit full. Animals are getting a bit outdated, so I really hope they update it. And I'm not sure how they're gonna do it with the mechanics because, well, myself, I am not really a Planet Coaster player, so I don't know how the mechanics are in Planet Coaster 2. I heard a lot of good things about it. I heard I heard some bad things. I'm not sure because, well, of course, if they're gonna add new mechanics, you need to learn them. And I'm not really looking out for new learning mechanics because I want to learn and make my builds look better, not the mechanics really. Because, well, yes, the thing is, the mechanics now are okay, except for like the terrain tool and the path. people say that the path tool is like really bad. I don't really use the path tool because I just use concrete for the path, because, well, why would I use the path if concrete just looks way better, you know? And why would I use it if if my PC can't even handle a whole zoo, you know? So the thing is, there's nothing in the path tool for me, because, well, I don't like, guests can't even walk in my zoo, because I just make one build and then delete it and then move on to the next. And yeah, so I don't really have anything with the path tool. The terrain tool, yes, it can be a bit better, because yeah, sometimes, well, the thing is, basically, I always make my zoos in a European temperate biome. And while I am sometimes making those, well, I had the Jungle Canopy series, where well, yeah, I kind of missed like those other painting tools, because, well, I want to use yeah, the mulch painting terrain thingy. I want to use that because then it's kind of fitting into the theme of the animals and the habitat, because, well, I couldn't use it then, you know. So that's maybe a thing that they can improve on, that you can use like every painting tool in every biome. But yeah, that's just the way I think. But I'm more like interested into the new species, and like well, yeah, the new species, of course. And yeah, the new species, just, yes, I want to see like the walrus. I want to see fish, so you can make like a really, you can make like a ooh, goated ID. I'm gonna make like a flooded forest kind of thingy that they have. I'm not sure what zoo it was. I think it's no, is it? No, I'm not sure. But they have somewhere, they have like a flooded forest somewhere. I think I'm not. Yeah, goated ID. Let's go. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Oh, I'm just yapping so much. I don't know what to say anymore. Well, the thing is, I'm kind of looking out for species. Yeah, for like fish and stuff. And, well, but the thing is, when they are gonna add fully aquatic marine animals, are they talking about fish and sharks and turtles? Or are they also talking about dolphins and belugas and orcas? I hope they don't add orcas, because, and dolphins also, and belugas, because, well, there is such, these animals are there are a bit yeah, well, also people say polar bears don't really exist. Well, polar bears don't really deserve to live in zoos, and well, also we have like leopard seal, but they are never captured, because well, people are just scared, because those are literally just demons of the sea. But yeah, I really hope. Well, the thing is, I'm not sure if they're gonna add it, because some people say yes, if the tank is big enough, it's really just okay for the animals. Other people say, yeah, orcas don't deserve to live in zoos, but dolphins are okay. Well, people like me are just saying, yeah, these animals just need a lot more space. They don't really like deserve to live in a zoo. That is like kind of the only species I am like, well, not bothered with, but like annoyed that they live in a zoo, because, well, a lot, like dolphins is the thing. Dolphins, I'm not really sure, because yes, if you give dolphins enough space, I'm just really, I think that it's okay, you know. But like orcas, they just really just don't deserve to live in a zoo. But yeah, that's just my way of thinking. I'm not sure how you guys think of it. But I'm not sure how they're gonna do it with those fully aquatic animals. But I'm sure they're gonna add like sharks and turtles and fish and stuff. But I'm just not sure if they're gonna go that far with orcas and dolphins. But yeah, you can see in the build that I started out with like the terrain, because it's just very simple. It's just making 2 hills, then just placing rocks, a lot of rocks, then more pebbles, more rocks, or more pebbles, then dead trees, and then just buffalo grass everywhere, and then I start kind of went with bushes. But yeah, those are kind of the last things. I am really running out of subjects, so I think you guys can just survive 4 minutes longer on your own. Hope you like the build. I'll see you guys in the next one, and yeah, goodbye guys.